Yes, sir. Okay, first things first, MLB. Zan, would you like to break down the new MLB season format for our viewers?
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. So because of COVID and the restrictions going on, they've split the divisions up into the three sections of location on in the US. So the West, all the NL and AL West teams are playing against each other, all the NL and AL Central teams are playing against each other, and all the AL and NL East teams are playing against each other. So it's a 60 game season with a 16 team playoff, 8 teams per division, and the new rules because of COVID, making sure everything is safe and protected for the players going through multiple testing and trying to keep their own little bubble in the MLB.
All right. So, with that being said, who do you feel like could take it this year? What are your opinions on that?
Um, I think it was actually two teams that played today that looked really good today. We'll get more into that later, but it's the Yankees and the Dodgers. They have loaded rosters on offense, and both of them have Cy Young caliber pitchers just when healthy, and if they can stay on the pace that they're at, it's going to help out their rotation a lot. No matter who's in the lineup, it's going to be tough to just get hits when you're facing pitching that the Yankees and Dodgers have. But the things that make the teams is having the hitting that they have with the Yankees having Judge and Stanton in a murderer's row type of situation, and now the Dodgers having Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger. It's the dynamic duos that are really going to kill it in the MLB for this season.
So, with that being said, a lot of good players, you said, on the Yankees, Dodgers, a lot of good players in MLB in general. So, that
Yep.
being said, who do you feel like could win the awards possibly?
AL and NL MVPs, those could be both up for grabs for many people. I think Mike Trout always has a possibility. You can't down talk the best player in the sport. You can't forget any of the former MVPs. You got Mookie Betts now with the Dodgers, Cody Bellinger, Christian Yelich. You got a lot of talent all over the league. The NL is going to be loaded this season with how
Mhm.
much players are going to shine, but AL can't be slept on either. As much as the Astros have been getting hate for it, some of their players are pretty good. We're going to see how they can handle their season after all that they went through this past offseason with the cheating scandals and everything. But uh, MVP is going to be a tough race. Cy Young is going to be tough. In the NL, you got players like Steven Strasburg, Max Scherzer for the Nationals. You have Jacob DeGrom for the New York Mets. You got Clayton Kershaw for and Walker Buehler for the Dodgers. It's going to be fun to watch all the pitching aspects. You got Verlander and Cole in the AL. It's going to be a fun year for baseball, even with a short season.
Mhm. So we've been talking a lot about the future of the season and stuff like that, but let's kind of talk about the present. Let's move to the present and
All
give us a
right.
little bit of a rundown of what happened today with the Yankees, Nationals, and Dodgers Giants game.
All right, absolutely. The games that happened today, the Yankees and Nationals, first game of the 60 game MLB season. Yankees went off to a fast paced start, got off a couple of good pitches that Max Scherzer laid out for them. Stanton absolutely bombed one to center. I think it was like almost 460 feet. It was pretty impressive. I know we had a conversation about it. You were just
Mhm.
amazed that the ball went so far,
Yeah.
but it's like what's crazy to me though is like Scherzer was giving up runs, but it felt like he had so much command over the game. It felt like the pitching matchup was so good between Scherzer and Cole, which is what it's meant to be. Those are two Cy Young caliber pitchers right there, and being paid the money that they're meant to be paid. With Cole getting his new contract this offseason from the Yankees, which is one of the ones that's up there in the sports world at like 320 million over 10 years. But it really was a good pitching matchup. It's just like the home run ball seems like it's still a thing from last season. There was talks of juiced ball baseballs with how much home runs were being hit last season. So it seems like some of it might have carried over into this season. With the
Yep.
Dodgers Giants though, it was great when to see like a different aspect all the way in the West Coast. with a brand new team, but still keeping the same style that they had with the Giants and their new management, and keeping some of the old players and leaving some behind, getting rid of one of the pitchers of the decade for that team with Madison Bumgarner, going to the rival in the Diamondbacks in Arizona. But the Giants, they didn't look bad, but the Dodgers are just such an amazing team at this point. It's hard to write off a team that's going to be so good with such a stacked lineup. And it was funny. I mean, Mookie and Cody both had hits and they both looked decent. But the star of the game was Kike Hernandez. Went 4 for 5, 4 RBIs and a home run, which was what looked it looked clean off the bat. It looked like a bit of a moonshot. Took a little bit to come down, but it was still a nice home run that he hit. And uh the Dodgers pitching as a whole did pretty good. I think Dustin May might have came in, or I think he might have started one of the two, and he the pitching just looked decent all around, and it's going to be a fun season. 3 more games on ESPN tomorrow. I think starts off with the Braves and Mets, my team in the New York Mets, then go over to Chicago and Milwaukee, your team in Milwaukee, Ben, and then I think finish off with the A's and the Angels or something like that. So it's going to be a
Mhm.
fun day to watch sports tomorrow for sure.